My name is Amanda Hugon. I'm of the Stalo Coquitlam Shiam Coast Salish. I'm a Northwest Coast Salish artist. So I dabble contemporary art, painting, wood carving. I do printmaking, and I feel like a bunch of other things. If you were to tell little Amanda that this is what she'd be doing, I would say absolutely not. Art is not something that I've ever taken seriously or never really thought of it as a profession or that I'd be creating for everyone to see. Art has been something that I've just created for all of my close friends and family as like a little gift or something that I could like contribute to a protest of some sort. Or it was just something that I would just utilize to express myself and just escape reality for a minute. Until I went to Frida Diesing School of Northwest Coast Art in 2015. But what inspired me to do that was a piece that Robert Davidson carved. It was a pole, a 7-foot pole that has two faces on it with a bar across it. And it was called We Were Once Silenced. And it was a part of a private show in New York. And it kind of spoke to me to say, like, you need to do this. And what better place to know how to do that than the school here in Terrace. And it wasn't even about the carving and the Northwest Coast art. It was more to learn and be in tune with my own culture, because that was something that I didn't grow up in. I didn't grow up knowing a lot of the traditional ways of being. Even though I would practice them, I didn't understand why or what I was doing it for. It was just something that came naturally to me. And a lot of this work too, when I first started, is shadow work. So working on things that I have had hidden inside in my mind or whatnot as a child, and things I didn't know, and going through counseling and doing things to kind of explore that and art therapy in a roundabout way, to see what comes out and then allow that part of me to heal to move on to the next part. Because I'm forever chasing the idea of finding out my roots, my history, my family, and trying to reroute that and then find out what is inside me to explore, or what is inside that has been creating a style that I didn't even know was, I guess, me. And then learning about that and understanding that gave me a whole different perspective on how important it is to learn my roots, know who I am, and then express that. So everything that I was expressing before is now making sense. It took a long time, like 30 years to understand that, but it's happening and it's out there and I'm not gonna stop.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
High five.
There is a lot of interesting roads that I've been on and things that I've experienced that have helped me create the things that I have, and a lot of unexplainable studies that have definitely helped me find my family too. It was seriously probably one of the most unexplainable events I've ever had. I did a masterpiece study at BC Royal Museum, and there were some masks that I got to enjoy and study and check out, and they had this vibration to them that took my breath away, and I could not explain it. And I find out a few weeks later that my grandfather and great-grandfather danced these masks like plenty of years ago. And for me to find that connection without actually knowing that at the time was just mind-blowing. It literally dropped me to the floor and took my breath away. And I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I need a minute. And then seeing them, studying them, and learning a bit about them, because I've never seen them before, and then reading about them and then seeing their names was like, holy snap, they were talking to me. And I don't even know how or what happened. Without sounding too crazy, I can't even explain it. It was just mind-blowing and so incredible. Like what a true treat to be able to experience that. And so things like that have kind of come across my journey, and I can't explain it, but it makes me feel like I'm at home and I'm exactly where I need to be in creating what I am. little bit by little bit.
I guess that touches too on a question I have about the impact that you think that art has to the wide public. Like obviously it has an impact on people that love art and that maybe are artists or want to be artists.
Right.
But do you feel like it stretches beyond that and has an uplifting effect on the general public?
I definitely do, and I never thought of that before. Like I didn't, when I became an artist, professional artist, I wasn't expecting to be in the public or in the public eye. And I didn't understand or know that there's a responsibility that goes with that. And that's something I wasn't expecting, but it's also something that is like so humbling and incredible to hear and know that people are enjoying the pieces. And of course you can't please everybody, but there's always that little nudge of inspiration where someone's like, I really love the color that you chose on that one, or this piece really speaks to me, or I didn't notice these little hidden, you know, creatures that are in here or whatnot. I think a lot of things I like to do have that twist of being like, you never know what's going to show up. Like I really believe that art is a great way to express yourself with political things, with things that you believe in. Being Indigenous is kind of a political statement. So to have things that can kind of twist into that and be a shift disturber in a roundabout way, it's nice to just throw something in there that somebody wasn't expecting. I think my friends think that it's kind of funny, or, you know, just, yeah, I saw that one coming, but I didn't know what it was going to be. So it's kind of something for them to look forward to. Whether we talk about it or not is one thing, but to showcase it out there and then also have like a subliminal message is quite fun, especially with different styles of art. And utilizing the old traditional ways, twisting it into contemporary, and then showcasing it however you want, or maybe using things that might be of the future would be really exciting. I work with the Raven Takwara Artist Collective. It is made up of four of us artists, and we're all Indigenous from all of Turtle Island, which is amazing. There's myself and Stephanie Anderson. She's of the Wet'suwet'en territory. Travis Hebert, he lives in the Wet'suwet'en territory, but he is Métis and Cree. And we have Facundo Gastiazoro, who is from Argentina.
Right, and he's on Wet'suwet'en territory as well.
Yes, he sure is, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, what a team.
Oh, they're all brilliant, and they're all multi-talented in so many different ways. Musicians, producers, filmmakers, animators, digital art people, wood carvers, all the above. Like, we're all doing all different things on our own, and then we work together as a team to create big, beautiful statements that we believe in and stand behind on each wall.
Why murals in particular and art outside that's accessible is important to you?
I feel like they are the backdrop to the people of the community. So something that really warms my heart is when the unhomed people come by and feel like they were taken away from their culture, and this is a part to give them back or remind them of who they are and where they're from. So it's so powerful to have some of these community members come up to the wall and let us know what clan they're from, where they're from, who they are, and be able to be proud of these pieces, to say that this is like a blessing to them, to say thank you for making our home beautiful. And they're around it all the time, so I feel like they're also protecting it for us, which is so lovely. But every single piece has a story behind it, has a relationship with us, but can also connect with the people, which is really important too, because I believe that every single piece I create has a story that's true and blue to my heart, but it clearly translates to be open to anyone else that can relate to that, and that's really special. It's a part of sharing the artwork, sharing the love of the artwork, but also creating that message to say that we are here, we've been here for a long time, and we're going to be staying here, and we're not going to stop creating art to share with everyone to enjoy. The impact of that has been tremendous. So people that have come to travel around in the Northwest Coast will see, say, an image on Instagram or on Facebook, social media of some sort, and want to try and find that one piece, not knowing that there's other amazing pieces around. Like we have Casey Brom's right there,
Right,
and when you go around that corner, there's a whole other piece,
so
and
cool.
so it just opens up this gift for people to enjoy.
You spend a lot of time making the art and making sure the art can go up, but you're also involved in organizing it. You're involved with the Skeena Salmon Art Fest here in town, and you've been involved with Terrace Art Gallery. And could you speak to a little bit about kind of what it is to be both an artist and an advocate for art?
I think that being on the vice chair of the Skeena Salmon Art Fest is an important hat to wear. As an Indigenous woman and an artist, it's good to bring the awareness of the art, but also invite other artists, whether they're Indigenous or not, to be part of the Skeena Salmon Art Show. I do feel like one day, unfortunately, the salmon on the walls is all we're going to have eventually, which is really unfortunate. So to bring the awareness of the surroundings that we have and the beauty that we have, especially in the Northwest Coast, and how important it is of all of these life cycles, it's so good to be part of that and try and keep that going. I was on the board of the Terrace Art Gallery for a little bit as well, and I just did feel it was very important to be not only an artist and be on the board to share my vision and views, but also to bring in the cultural awareness of the artists that are around here. I do feel like Terrace specifically has a lot of beautiful underground hidden artists, introverts if you will, who don't share their art here in the local community, but sell them elsewhere. And I would love for everyone to share them here before they get shipped out. The beauty we have in our backyard is undescribable, and I'm a well-traveled person to know that a lot of the best stuff comes from right in our backyard. And we're inspired by everything around here. So I really want to bring that awareness to help us share everything we have here, and people around here can appreciate that before it does get hidden in these private collectors around the world. Speaking of that, we do have a huge collection here at the Coast Mountain College, and I had the pleasure of curating that, and we have artwork from a lot of alumni of the Frida Deasing School of Northwest Coast Art, as well as the instructors, and I am humbled and pleased to say I do have artwork on every single wing of that building, which is so incredible. But to have the honor to hang fellow artists' pieces in a way that I know that they would appreciate it and then label them accordingly is just so cool. So to be able to have that here as well, it's more beautiful than a lot of the museums that I've been to. So we do have that here, and I do hope that one day they can open that up to the public to enjoy, or have some sort of archive to share that, because there's a lot of beautiful pieces right here at the college.
Right, yeah. It was quite amazing.
Yeah. When I look at other artists and I see their styles and their recognize, I guess, their work, I think like I don't have that kind of identity. I don't look at my work and think like, oh yeah, I know who that is, or think that other people think that. And so I'm forever trying to chase that to find out like, how can I have a style that is me? And I guess everything I create is so diverse right now because I'm trying to explore that. And that in itself is kind of playful. Explore different colors and mediums and shapes and things, and just keep creating until I can find that, I guess. I don't want to stop creating though, and I don't want to narrow down to one topic or subject. I just want to creating things to figure that out. Or even the process, right? You don't want to show anyone what it looks like when it's not at its best, but sometimes that's what people want to see. They want to know that it's not like the perfect path to success at the end. Studying the pieces of the masters from 50 to 100 years ago, looking at them and their imperfections, but knowing that if they didn't put them on display or have them in the galleries or the museums for us to study, we wouldn't have anything to study. So they're just perfectly imperfect. Everything is kind of bringing yourself to that mindset of being a child and then just exploring and seeing what will happen and not expecting perfection, but just seeing some sort of progress of some sort. And that in itself creates a story. And it's something that I'm probably forever going to be chasing, only because I don't work with perfection, and I just want to know and learn and explore new things. So I do have something to show you, and it's inside here. It's like the super secret box. I have these incredible operculum shells from Ben Davidson. About 6 months before he passed away, he ended up messaging me saying like, hey, I have some operculum shells. Do you still need some? And I was like, I could always use them. These here are them, and look at how amazing they are. I think every child is an artist. It's a matter of who they let taint their mind to thinking that they're not good enough to not continue exploring that. It's like once you let someone else in that, I don't know, that mind of you're not confident in, whatever that may be. I'm trying to find the words for it. I'm fumbling, but it's like, just let your inner child do what they want with the permission, like giving yourself that artistic permission to do what you want, and then sharing that and exploring that and being vulnerable. But I think it's in the mind of how open or closed you are. As an artist, my mind is continually ahead of myself. And so I have so many ideas and I'm not getting out fast enough that you want to just kind of get this out, move on. And it is a balancing act. So just kind of balancing like home life and fueling myself up in, like I like to go out to the river and up onto the mountains and be in the forest. And that's what inspires these pieces. But it's a matter of having that balance of everything all at once.
Two words that really jump out at me. You talked about responsibility, and earlier you were talking about, maybe not in the word, but sort of conservation or environmentalism was touched on. And do you feel like artists, especially in places like this, have a responsibility to be environmentalists?
I do feel that, definitely. I feel like each one of us has this hat that we can wear to be a custodian for the environment. As guests on this territory, it's a responsibility to share that and bring the awareness of that. And I think that's why I'm an artist, is to create that powerful saying or that powerful word or song, if you will, to share and show like what we need to do to keep this place a happy place for a long time for all of us. And there's a lot of that goes within a lot of the pieces. So and I can't speak for all of the artists that have been doing murals, but I do feel like in observing their art, we're all sending the same message, that we love the land that we're living on and we want to preserve it for as long as possible. So let's share the love of that and try and keep it as happy as we can. But I also think about, where was this piece of wood? What kind of life did this tree live? And who got to see it? There are some pieces that are really old, like some trees, some pieces of cedar that are really old, that I sometimes wonder if my grandparents got to visit it too.
So maybe before we touch on this piece and the importance of it, could we touch a little bit on artistic process?
I think what people don't know is all of the work that gets put on or put out there before it gets translated on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
We go through a lot of sketches and designs. Well, I do personally. I pencil draw everything. I'm not a digital artist. And I'll sketch out a concept and then translate that onto where I think it needs to go on the wall. Like we each did birds on this wall and feathers. And so we had to hand draw that. And not all of them make it, which is an interesting part as well, because you need to be okay with that, or be okay that it's going to get translated different when it's on a different medium. So going from paper to brick to siding to whatever it may be is always different. And what I did find with myself is that I'm actually taking the advice from Leah Pipe, who told me that something that she does when she's getting a commission of some sort, and all of these are commissions, right? We are paid professional artists, that we have to learn to let go. She will create what she wants for herself on the side as if that was the original piece, so she can let go of the piece that is being commissioned or say translated on the wall, and then still have the piece that she wanted near and dear to her heart, and to allow yourself to let that piece go. So one of the shows I'm working on right now is actually called Monsters in My Closet, and that is going to have a lot of pieces that did not make any of these murals.
Wow.
And so to share that process, I will be creating a piece that speaks in like a cousin version of what made the wall, and then what is my version. And so I have actually been working on a lot of pieces for all of our murals that we have, to allow myself to still release what I need to do to share my voice in the art. Pieces like this guy. I started this after graduation. That was 2017, and he's still here. He's still in the makes. I'm still working on him, still carving. I have a lot of finishing to do, which actually, this part of this process, I did have a little sketch. Do I still have him around? Right there. One of my original sketches, and then I'm just not too sure if that's what he's gonna finish looking like. One of my mentors has said, like, you got to finish that because it's like a monster talking to you in the corner, you know, like creeping up on you, and the time that, you know, like you're burning daylight, the time is creeping up on you. But I'm also a huge fan of dark things, Halloween, Tim Burton. So I really, really enjoy the idea of everything having its own monster. It kind of just makes me feel like, yeah, they're monsters in the closet talking to me, telling me to finish them up so they can see what they look like, or they could be happy and be embraced and be shared by everyone. It also gives me the permission for myself and for the show to expect the unexpected. Like, I don't know what they're gonna look like in the end, and I'm attracted to like the most interesting and creepy, or what my friends would consider creepy things. So kind of be prepared for anything. And that way too, people are prepared for who knows what. They're not going to be disappointed or frightened by things that they might see. I actually, starting that, I started digging up things that I didn't even know were a thing. So then it's like, okay, what are the real monsters now? Or why are these on hold? Because I don't know how to finish them or what they're supposed to look like. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm excited to find out. Get going, figure it out. I do realize that, yeah, the process is going to be a lot longer than what I'm giving myself. So then to have those hard-hitting conversations of what's going to make it, what's not going to make it, what is also going to make the client happy, but also be okay to put out to the public. Because these are public pieces, and they are going to be talked about, or they are going to be expressed in a way that needs to be pleasing to everyone, which is also a challenging part of being a public artist, because not everything can be political, if you will, right? Like, I feel that even just being a female Indigenous artist is kind of a political topic.
It's a statement itself.
Right? So never mind everything else that goes along with that.
You touched too on the fact that this is part of the missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls movement. And that's one of those things that, especially as an Indigenous woman, it's an important one to stand for. It's an important one for everybody to stand for.
Yeah.
But that's one of those hard things.
It is.
That is unfortunately political. And so what's it like navigating things like that in your work?
It's really challenging to not get emotionally attached to everything, because no matter what anyone says, we're always affected by it, because there's lots of family members or friends, or somebody, or even if you don't know someone knows somebody. And as an Indigenous woman, I feel like there's always a target on my back no matter what I'm doing. And so to bring the awareness of that is really important to me. And then I do have a daughter, so I try to make her aware of that too, but also try to be proud of who she is and her culture and what we stand for. And that's challenging in all aspects of the world, because growing up for myself, it's not something we were proud of or able to say or celebrate. And times are changing, but it's still a challenge for us for sure. So to talk about that, but also to live that, like we live right in a community that's through the highway of tears, and people are going missing, and it is a mystery, or there's something going on. Then we all need to be aware of that and watch out for our brothers and sisters and our family members and friends, because there is no answers yet. I find for myself, when I do work on pieces that I feel are voicing my opinions on human rights, or even just our rights for water, fresh water, and having fish to eat, or protecting the lands we're on, those that are attracted to it are meant to see it. But I think that they can be powerful enough to be shared enough for people to understand it, even if they don't speak the same language. I think art can be pretty powerful. And I think that it can be shared with everybody, or I want it to be anyway.
You worked on the piece that's across the street from here too, and it had a lot of challenges for you as well. Not specifically related to the Highway of Tears, but more to the residential schools.
This is right.
And to have two enormously powerful and challenging pieces in the same, we can see both of them at the same time.
Right.
How does that feel for you? Like, to me, it's a very clear statement and a very clear trace that you're leaving on the community for people to interact with and be able to share what hits for them.
Right. I feel like I'm blessed to have the opportunity to share that, right? Like this story that's on the orange wall isn't mine. The design is not mine. The wall is not mine. And to say that, to have someone else design the wall, to have someone supply the paint and equipment, to have it be the smallest wall that I've ever painted, it was the hardest wall I've ever done. But it's necessary. We need this. Blood, sweat, and tears all get put into every single piece that I've done, and I think that shows.
Yeah.
And I think it also brings in, it brings people in to allow people to share that emotion as well. And I think that's what it's all about. Selfishly, I'd say, well, I do this all for me because this is what I want to do. But it's so much more than that. So it's for everyone to appreciate. And I'm just so thankful that I get to share my gift to allow people to enjoy that as well. And it'll be around for a while. So yeah, I'm just thankful. I think that's part of the path, right? Like, you need to feel all the feels to get where you need to get to express what you need to share that. And I think it's not for everyone, and it can be a hard road, a roller coaster, if you will, but it's worth it. You just have to power through it and believe in it. Trust in the process. I feel like art is that love language that can kind of speak to everyone around the world. And I feel like artists can use that to share their voice, to send whatever message it is that they want to, for what they stand for. I feel like it won't really matter who you or what language you're speaking. When you create something powerful enough that you can stand behind, that's true from your heart, you will attract those that you need to.